I wish to thank the International Numismatic Club and my friend Vladimir Belya for inviting me to take part at the Russian Numismatic Congress. The numismatics I do research on the history and the ancient kingdom of southern Iraq. Today I will speak on the silver coronation of Atamblos I, who was king of Garasina from 24 BC. Atamblos was the sixth known king of the ancient kingdom of Garasina, most of the times mentioned as the king of Charax-Spasina, capital of the kingdom. The kingdom was founded around 132 BC by the former Seleucid Satrap Spasinas. Between the reign of Spasinas and Atamblos I, coronation is known for Archidakos Tiraios I, Tiraios II, and Archelaus. The kings of Garasina ruled Messina, the geographical region in the south of Mesopotamia, whose capital was Charax-Spasina, at the time the main port of the Persian Gulf. And the only thing that remains of this capital today is the archaeological site near Jebel Kayabir, about 10 kilometers north of the southern Iraqi capital, Basra. We mainly know the existence of this king from his coronation. Since Garasina was a Parthian vassal state, historians try to determine the mutual relationship on the basis of Parthian sources. For example, it is suspected that Atamblos supported Herodotus' revolt because his coins were overstruck by the Parthian king Francis IV in 28 to 26 BC. Let us now talk about his coronation. Until now, only silver tetradrachmas and bronze shot coin have been found with this king. This contribution will be limited to the study of the silver tetradrachmas, in particular the iconographical data, that is the bust of the emperors, the image of Heracles, and the legend on the reverse, the dates, the monograms, and additional letters, as well as the meteorological data. From the dates on his tetradrachmas, we reckon until now that he reigned between 47 and 25 BC, or in the Seleucid era, 266 to 287. Dates are always mentioned in the Seleucid era on the tetradrachmas. As you know, the Seleucid era is based on a calendar beginning with the autumn of 312 BC. The tetradrachmas of Atamblos show many similarities with those of previous king characters. King with diadem to the right, within a dotted border. The reverse show Heracles sitting to the left on a rock, resembling an anvil. He carries a club in his right hand, resting on his right thigh. The Greek text gives the title and the name, King Atamblos, the Liberator and the Beneficent. The first tetradrachmas of this king appear in the collection of Count Prokesh von Osten, who sold his coin collection in 1875 to the museum in Berlin. To see him on the right side on a new publication about this count. In 1867, Waddington published an engraving of such a coin in the Melange de Numismatique. You can see it here on the left side of the slide. In 1920, so after the First World War, the British Museum bought 22 tetradrachmas of Atamblos, the first from Colonel McCormick, who had acquired 50 of them. Of those 22 tetradrachmas, 5 were published in 1922 by George Francis Hill, creator of the British Museum, in his British Museum collection, the BMC. In the same year, Hill published all the tetradrachmas of Atamblos, the first known to him, and the coin in the coin cabinet. And that was in the numismatic notes from 1902. In 1978, Hélène Nicolas Pierre, created the coin cabinet of the Bibliothèque Nationale of France, and well known from her book Numismatique Grec, published an updated overview of the coinage of Atamblos I. In addition to the coins already known, she published data from a new mort found in 1976 and the coins from the Henry Sayre collection. Let's look at the situation in 1978. She reported coins with dates between 266 and 288 in the exception of the years 271, 280, 282, and 285. She reports 1 monogram on the obverse and 6 monograms on the reverse of these coins. There was no research done on the weight, the diameter, or the die-axis. From 1978 till today, a large number of those coins have been offered at coin auctions that can provide more useful information about the coin production of the skin. To provide this report of my research. Let us now get a monogram on the royal monogram. That's monogram number 1 in my study, and the monograms of the on the obverse, we already have the king to the right with long beard and wearing a royal. For the period till 267, we see to the right of the king's head a VP monogram. One, which possibly stands for Pius and AT from Atamus. Monogram was no longer. Let's now look at the monograms of the mint magistrates on the reverse, number 2 to 8. They show a monogram on the reverse before the head of Heracles. Most manuscripts show that these monograms identifies the mint and or the mint magistrate. You can see them here on the right side of the slide. Until recently, 6 monograms have been identified on the reverse. It is number 2, 3, 5, 6, 7, and 8, but thereby it can be assumed that monogram number 6 is a later variant of number 5. The first monogram, number 2, was already used by Archipassus. First, the previous king, only known from one point in the palace contract. It's shorter. The series is now completed with the 7th monogram. It's monogram number 4. Presumably, all monograms are from mint magistrates who struck their coins in the mint of Harax-Passi. Now, until now, we couldn't decide for the monograms, but who knows that we will find during excavations more information in the future. Let us now look at the monograms on the reverse, so number 2 till 8. You see here the monogram number 2. It's known for the years 264, 5, 6, and also 268. Then we get monogram number 3. You know, 267. It's a unique one. Jacquier in Germany a couple of years ago. It's a marvelous coin, very good quality. And I asked myself the question: this monogram wouldn't it be translated, or could it be deciphered to Harax and Aspasia? The founder of the dynasty was Aspasia, but in the old text, you most of the times read Aspasia. So it could be combined monogram to say that it was minted in the capital. And then number 5 and number 6, because this variant was made during the years 269, 270, 271. Number 5, most of you see in the year 269, and then afterwards you get, that's a little bit problematic, you see more number 6 variant shown up. Then you get number 7. That's most coins you see that you see in coin collections, public and private, or from auctions, has monogram number 7. It was made during the years 272 till 279, and again from 283 till 284. Those coins most of the times have also good physical dates. And then the last monogram was only used during the 3 last years of his reign, is 286, 7, and 8. First, let's look at again all the numbers, the monograms, and the years, and then you see logical situation. Only we have 2 years still, 282 And then let us look at the additional letters. And you see on the coins of the mint magistrate number 2 and 3, monogram for the leg of Heracles, that is the Aramaic letter G in the square, question mark, and the Aramaic letters B, A, B, possibly identifying the mint. I refer to the study of the coins of the neighboring state of Elamites, where the mint place Macedon, but till today this location is unknown. It's mentioned on the same place on the reverse of the tetradrachmas of King Cambyses and Anzaze, his queen. They ruled around 82 to 72 BC. So we have to look at the blue markings. You see an evolution from the place of the mint. That the mint name comes before the leg of the deity, and afterwards becomes a monogram. And then, second, additional letters we see for the monograms number 5 and 6 from the mint. Sometimes the Greek letters N, P, X, and Z on the arms of the Heracles. So the mint monograms 5 and 6 are sometimes combined with the letters N, P, X, or Z. And the coins with monogram number 8 usually show the Aramaic letter N under the arms. These additional letters are probably an indication of the workshops within the mint. And then, as promised, let's look also at the meteorological data. I used in my research from those first 150 points, and I could use 130 points because they had the correct date and the points were not too damaged. To use this data and compare. First of all, let us look at the rate. My study of the tetradrachmas of Pashkosinus and the coins of Archidagus confirms that they had a lowered at the coin standard of 16.32 grams. This is also correct. Among the tetradrachmas of Atlantis, we have also that have been recovered today. There is a coin with a weight of 16.24 grams. The other coins recovered today. At first glance, the weight of these coins seems very irregular, but on a closer look, we see a remarkable phenomenon. We can notice that there are heavy and light tetradrachmas, and that the light ones weigh 1/4 less than the heavy ones. In other words, those lighter coins have the weight of the 3 drachma. The average made by me by studying the parting points. The second aspect that should be not forgotten is the deviation of the coin. This phenomenon has already been studied with the parting coins. Until now, no research was carried out of this vein. Analysis of Dr. Alexander Scott on the tetradrachma of the Temple records show that the coin contained almost 30% silver and 60% copper. The graph on the right gives you an overview of the average weight per year for the period from the 64 to the 200. In the sort let's try to make some conclusions. Contributions show that this change tetradrachmas between years 264 and 288. To date, no coins have been found for 282 and 285. Most of the coins have a diameter between 26 and 31 millimeters, and they have a diameter of 12, exceptionally with a slight deviation. Taking into account the limited number of known coins with fully legible dates and good quality, the lack of information on the correlation with the metal composition, it is at this stage of my research not allowed to draw more precise conclusions. Also, the lack of other historical information and archaeological context or other reliable provenance data on most coins makes it difficult to explain the use in trade of these coins with such remarkable weight difference. Because of the limited time, I gave you the most important conclusions of my research. Please know that if you are interested in the topic, my research on these points will be published in Press Script Vaccine. If you can't wait to see more from the vaccine, don't hesitate to visit the online database Zeno, where you will find more of such points. Thank you for listening to my talk, and I will be happy to answer your questions.